Hello everybody, today we're going to be going over when you need to change the denominator. The first thing I want to go over is that the denominator is the bottom of the fraction and the numerator is the top of the fraction. So the denominator tells us your total amount possible and the numerator is the number you have of that total. So for example, this fraction, if I was talking about pizza, would tell me that I had 2 slices out of the 6 slices of pizza. So when do you need to find the same denominator is when you are adding, subtracting, or comparing fractions. So let's go back over to this tool for a second and say, let's look at the denominators, and if they are different, we have to make them the same. So we see that our denominators here are 6 and 4. Since 6 and 4 are different numbers, we have to go to the next step, which says find the common denominator by asking, what multiple do these two numbers share? So a multiple is a number that these numbers can multiply to that can both be the same in this case. So for example, over here we had 6 and 4 were our denominators. I'm going to look at my 4. 4 times 1 gives me 4. Since 6 cannot go into 4, that cannot be it. Now 4 times 2 gives me 8. Then I'm going to go to 6. Can 6 give me 8? Nope, so it can't be 6, can't be 8. Oh, but then I look over, 4 times 3 is 12, and I see 6 times 2 is 12. So I know 12 is my common denominator because both numbers can multiply nicely to get 12. So 6 times 2 gave me 12, and I do the same to the numerator as I do to the denominator. 4 times 3 gave me 12. Once again, doing the same to the numerator as I did to the denominator. So I have 4 twelfths and 9 twelfths. Let's go ahead and try that with these numbers. I'm going to model it once more, and then you're going to try the bottom ones on your own. We have 6 as our denominator and 3. Since we're adding, I know I need a common denominator. So how do I get a common denominator between 6 and 3? What multiple do they both share? I have to go back over to my chart. All right, 3 times 1 gives me 3. Can 6 times anything give me 3? Nope, so I'm going to cross that number out. What about 6? Now, what about 3 times 2? 3 times 2 gives me 6. 6 times 1 gives me 6, so 6 is going to be my common denominator. I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom by the same number. So 3 times 2 gives me that 6. I'm going to multiply the numerator 2 times 2. And this fraction is going to be multiplied by 1 since 6 is already our denominator. So 1 6 plus 2 times 2 is 4 and 3 times 2 is 6. Gives me 1 6 plus 4 6. Now I have 1 6 plus 4 6 gives me 5 6. Now I'm going to ask you to do the last two on your own, and I want you to remember that the only time you have to change the denominator is when they're not the same. Let me repeat that. The only time you need to change the denominator is when they're not the same. So you could go ahead and try number 2 and 3.